Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Clicker Corner. I'm Kelly, a customer experience consultant with Crict Software. And today I'm going to share a few examples of how Clicker can support children with autism. While every child is different, some autistic children may experience challenges with language and communication, social and emotional responses, or flexible thinking. And Clicker can be personalized to meet each learner's unique needs, so the strategies I share today can be helpful for any student who might benefit from this type of support. Today, I will be showing several features in Clicker, as well as some resources in our learning grids that can support students who might have these challenges. I'm going to be using Clicker for the PC and our Clicker apps today, so I'll be clear about which version I'm showing. Let's get started with Clicker for the PC. Picture support can be highly beneficial for students with autism, as it helps them better understand and process information. And there are many ways that Clicker can provide picture support to meet diverse student needs. In Clicker for the PC, we can choose to turn on picture support as words are entered into the document. So here in the toolbar, there are a few tabs across the top. I'm in the Document tab right now, where you can see some familiar icons such as opening a new document, saving and printing. But we also have our Options tab. Now here in the Options tab, you can see icons for our support tools. And these are unique to Clicker. If we choose the Pictures icon here, there's an option here across the tabs to picturize. Now, Picturize is a very popular tool that's available in Clicker and our Clicker apps. Picturize is going to automatically pull as many images as possible to match words that are entered into the document, also words that you might be using in our Clicker sets. So here in the Picturize tab, I'm going to choose words as I type into the document. I'm going to check that box. Now here there are also options to add pictures to our predictor. That's going to suggest words for students to type into the document. Really great for supporting spelling and word choice. And you can also check to have pictures in the spelling suggestions list. So depending on the needs of your students, you can play around with those settings here. Here in the white box, you can select where you would like the images to be pulled from. With your subscription, you have access to our CricPics library, which is a bank of artist-drawn images, plus our widget symbols library. You have access to over 10,000 widgets. So I'm going to leave that one checked and select OK. So now, when words are entered into the document, since we've turned on that setting, you can see the widget is going in above the word.
My favorite color is red.
If students need the support of a writing grid, such as a sentence set, connect set, or word bank, pictures can easily be added to these as well. So let's open a resource in Learning Grids. This is our bank of ready-made, ready-to-use resources. These are created by our curriculum team and are regularly updated. We're going to go into Learning Grids by going to that folder icon here in the top left. And we're going to the Learning Grids tab with the blue globe. We can easily search here in Learning Grids. We can use the subject tabs that go across the top here, or pop a keyword or topic into the white bar. Now, emotional responses can be particularly challenging for children with autism. Here in the English Language Arts tab, there are many resources in the Feelings and Actions category. It's easy to filter on the left-hand side here for specific resources, so let's check the box next to sentence sets. And we're going to open up this one here called When I Feel Worried by selecting the green Open button. Our writing grids open here at the bottom of the document to support students. Sentence sets are created around a model sentence. So this activity, when we opened it from Learning Grids, has a view and copy model where the sentence is visible here for students to view. They can select the sentence to hear it read aloud.
Sometimes I feel worried.
So here in the document, they can point and click to build the sentence that they see.
Sometimes I feel worried.
Now, since we turned that setting on a little bit ago to have those widgets go into the document at the same time as the word, you can see it reflected here with the sentence that we just built from our sentence set. Now, all of our resources can easily be edited. So we can add some additional picture support to this sentence set by going to the Edit pen here in the bottom left corner. In Edit View, you have a preview here on the left-hand side of all of the sentences in this activity. You can see that each sentence does have an image here at the start of the sentence. However, we can add some additional picture support to the words here in the cells. Now, we talked about that Picturize tool, and if I wanted to quickly add in some picture support, the picture icon here on the right does allow me to access that Picturize tool. I can quickly add images into as many cells as possible to match the words that are in the cells. I can also select an individual cell to add a picture to just that cell. For example, if I wanted to add an image to worried, I can select that cell to open up some picture options here on the right. So I could take a picture with my device's camera, so maybe taking a picture of the student with a worried face might be helpful. There are paint tools, so we could illustrate a picture to go along with the word. And then we have our picture icon here again. Whenever you see that mountains and sun icon, that is where you can add in that additional picture support. And you can see that it's already pulling some images that I might want to add to the word worried. So we'll select one here and select Insert. Now you can see that I do have the cell with the word in it along with the image. If I did want to save some time, I can use that Picturize tool that I pointed out. So by going to that picture icon, I can select Picturize, which brings us back to choosing where I want those pictures to be pulled from. In the Source tab, I can choose that Quick Picks library or the widget symbols. One thing that is important to note, if you'd like Picturize to be applied to all of the grids in your sentence set, here in the Options tab, we can check that box that says Apply to all grids. We also have the option to ignore high-frequency words if that is going to be helpful for your student. By selecting Picturize, it's asking if I want to keep the pictures that were already in that sentence set, so the ones here at the beginning, I would like to keep those. I'm going to select Keep, and it will continue picturizing until it tells me here that I've added in 42 additional pictures. So now when I go through the sentences in this activity, I can see where my widget symbols have been added in and make sure that this activity is ready for my students. Once I'm happy with the changes I've made to the sentence set, I can use the Go arrow here at the top to return to the document. Now you can see that that additional picture support is here in the grid. We're going to switch over to one of our clicker apps. When you're working on iPads or Chromebooks, you have access to 3 clicker apps. So with your subscription, our 3 clicker apps are going to have all of the same resources that you find in Clicker for Windows and Mac devices. The one that I've opened here is our Clicker Books app. Children with autism can find it difficult to transition to a new or unfamiliar situation, and social stories can prepare the child ahead of time for what's going to happen. It also gives them the opportunity to practice how to respond to this new or unfamiliar situation. Our clicker books are a great resource for social stories. In Learning Grids, one of our newer books is called Going to the Dentist. I have it opened here. It's a speech-supported book with great visual support and a few sentences on each page that students can listen to or read on their own. So by using the arrow buttons, they can go through each page, and there is a speaker icon here where students can listen to the words on the page by tapping the speaker button.
To keep my teeth healthy, I go to the dentist for a checkup.
So they have that option. Or if you have students who are working on reading the story more independently, if they need support on an individual word, they can tap that word to hear it read aloud.
Healthy.
Now, I mentioned that all the resources and learning grids are easy to edit. So here in our Clicker Books app, we're going to the pen icon in the top right corner to go into Edit View. Now, I really like going to the stack icon here in the top left corner of the book, because just like with that sentence set we were editing, you can see a preview of all of the pages here in this Clicker book. Depending on the child and the topic, adding a photograph of the child might be helpful. We can do that by selecting the page that we would like to edit and then selecting the image. When we select the image, it's highlighted in green so we know what we're editing. And some tools here at the top, some options for adding in additional picture support have opened up. You can take a picture using your device's camera. You can use our paint tools to illustrate a picture. And this icon here with the magnifying glass is going to allow you to browse for an image. Now, in the Clicker Books app, you do have access to the CrickPics library. You can also access pictures and video that you have saved on your device. So I'm going to select My Pictures, where it's going to open up my File Explorer, and I can navigate to my picture folder. I do have one here from the dentist, and I'm going to open that up in my Clicker book. So now I have a photograph of the student that might be helpful for them when they're reading the social story. Once you're happy with the edits you've made to your Clicker book, you can use the Go arrow in the top right corner to return to the book. And here you can see that the picture that we inserted onto this page is here now for the student to see. Using this Clicker book, you can also change the content. So I can select that pen here in the top left corner, and instead of changing the image, I can change the content. So by selecting this text box, I can easily change this social story for entering the school building in the morning, getting started with the school day, or even packing up at dismissal time to get ready for that bus ride home. It's really easy to do using the template that you see here for the book on going to the dentist, but changing it to meet the needs of your students. I'm going to switch over to another one of our Clicker apps, the Clicker Writer app. This is where students have that blank space to produce their writing, and they have the support tools that sit here in the middle of the toolbar. When you have students who are using the apps on their iPad or Chromebook, you may need to customize how the document looks for certain students. You can change the settings in our Clicker apps by going to the cog icon in the top right corner, and this will open up our settings window. Here on the General tab, we can change the font style and size. Using the slider here, I'm going to increase the font a little bit. It might be important for you to change the font color or perhaps the background color. And when we change those display settings in our cog icon, that's going to be for opening up a new document. So by going to the page icon here in the top left corner with the 3 dots, when I open up a new document, it's going to have those settings that I just changed using the cog icon. So now, if I enter words into the document, we can see that I've increased the font and changed the style, as well as the background color too.
My name is Kelly.
Now, if we wanted to change that speech feedback tool, we can go back to that cog icon and go to the speech tab this time. Here we can speed up or slow down that speech feedback. We can change the color that the words are highlighted in using the paint palette here. And you can download different voices. We are currently listening to Ella. Here in the settings window, we can also change when Clicker is going to read back words for students. So right now the default setting is to read after every sentence, but you can see that we can change that to read after every word or even after every letter. We just looked at some of the ways Clicker can support students with autism. This included picture support, creating social stories with Clicker books, and customizing the support tools based on the needs of your students. Here on our website, we have some success stories that highlight how different school districts are using Clicker. And you can find some of these stories based on student need using the categories here on the right-hand side. If you would like to discuss using Clicker with your students or any Clicker questions you might have, please reach out. I look forward to connecting with you soon.